With an absolutely abysmal critic score and conservative influencers stuck with contracts that mean they have to promote the film, you'd think Angel Studios would be going silent, or at least playing nice, with the dumpster fire Animal Farm movie that just came out. Oh, but there should be no doubt now, whoever's in charge at Angel Studios, they're determined to burn the whole thing to the ground. Now, they're actually attacking the audience. They're ridiculing you.
It's a loud minority trying to silence us.
Like the pigs.
Okay, so I can't state this piece as fact. I'm still doing the research on this myself. But what's floating around, and the trades have reported this, is that it's a 5-figure payoff. It was a 5-figure payoff.
It's not worth it.
To promote this.
Right,
so,
it's not worth it. It will damage your brand more than 5 figures by supporting this. It is an atrocious piece of dumpster fire. It is the film that is filling eyes with tears, but not for any kind of good reason. It is something from Angel Studios, unlike what we've ever seen from Angel Studios. And by the way, it has conservatives in the throes of trying to figure out what the heck to do, as so many of them appear to have contracts and they're promoting it. Yet this sucker right here is one, let's just skip to it, terrible, awful, atrocious film. Yes, this looks like the rest of the film. It is ugly, it is grotesque, it is dystopian, it is free from any kind of joy. It takes the Animal Farm that is a warning for Marxism whiz, and instead it spends the entire however long I was stuck in the theater preaching that if only you would avoid leaders, you could have the utopia that communism promises, but as soon as you get a leadership, as soon as you get somebody in charge, they will become the oppressor class, and they will connect you to the hip to the evil capitalists. And that is the story of Animal Farm in 2026. Wiz, there's nothing pleasant about it. It's anti-family. There's not a single family member in the film. It's just terrible. Wiz, what did you find enjoyable about it?
I keep asking myself that. I'm like, there's got to be one thing that I could say, because in any review, you want to be able to say there's one thing that you like. I can't find a single thing that's good in this movie. It's devoid of any kind of hope, but it also doesn't stick the landing. It is the worst adaptation of a source material I have ever seen in my life. We're like, I had to sit there. My hands were holding up my palm. I'm sitting in the theater as the movie ended, and it ends abruptly. It just, boom, it's over.
Okay, hold on. Let's talk about the ending, because it's actually offensive.
Yeah,
in a way that I've never seen before. We'll talk about that part, but Wiz, here's what's even worse. I get out of the theater, and I'm happy because I get to leave. I haven't had a film this depressing since Artificial Intelligence from Steven Spielberg back in the 90s, okay? I finally get out of this theater, which I would not have sat through except I'm reviewing it. But I finally get to leave. I've been held against my will. And as I'm leaving, there's a thing on the screen that pops up that says, "Stick around, party coming up in 1 minute." Did you see this, Wiz? And I thought, oh, no! There's a
Farm 2.
Yep. And so I thought, I've got to sit here and watch it. By the way, look at these horrible designs. The Glenn Close model is so terrible. But anyway,
Close,
I don't want to
you mean Elon Musk's mom?
Yes. So it says, wait for after the show for 1 minute. I do. It isn't for a mid-credit scene. It isn't for some little, hey, the animals are celebrating, so let's do a Shrek again, right? Now I found her face, now I'm a believer. No, there's none of that. It's a freaking QR code poll. You get to take a picture of one of the QR codes to tell Angel Studios if you liked it or didn't like it. And I can tell you which QR code's going to be burning up the night this night.
Did you scan it?
No, Wiz, I'm not doing that. They get none of my data.
It's worse. It's not just a scan vote. It's a give us money.
Oh, no.
It's gas. So if you scanned, yes, I loved it. It hits you with a form that says, buy a ticket for someone. It doesn't even say. It says,
how do you know?
Someone else.
How would you know? Did you scan the one that says you enjoyed it?
Not only, that's my brother got that one, and I scanned the other one. Let me see if I could just show it here, just as a graphic here, because I still have it up.
Unbelievable. So they're grifting.
They're grifting
off a mid-credits fake out.
Here, we heard you and you're wrong, is what it says. If you scan the one that says you didn't like the movie, and then if you scroll down here, it'll hit you with "Give us money." Oh. And here we go. Here's $75 express checkout now.
I've never seen anything this pathetic in my life.
So to be fair on that point, though, every single Angel Studios film does have that. The giving. I'm
sorry. Here's the problem.
I'm just giving. To be fair,
here's the problem, Steve. If I go for Sound of Freedom. And they do that, and I feel like, well, gosh darn it, if I'll just give Angel Studios some money, they're going to use that to save orphans all over the world. Then that makes me feel good. If they do that as a fake out mid-credit scene, and it's like, if I give them $75, they will help spread communism to all parts of the world. Not so much fun.
Welcome to Canada.
Well, I think if this was shot in Canada, it's dark and dreary the whole movie over.
What were you saying?
But it's worse than that, Pro. You might have missed the symbolism there, because the movie gets darker the more the capitalism is integrated into the farm.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it gets dark. So it starts off this beautiful animal farm. It's sunshiny and gorgeous, and then
it's never really beautiful, though.
Well, I mean, it's close as they want to portray, right?
Right.
It's the artiste here.
Right. They're like animals on acid from the beginning. By the way, spoiler alert, because nobody's going to care. You're not going to go see this film, and if you do, you're going to say, "Why didn't I listen to Wizard and Pro?" This horse, spoiler alert, he gets turned into glue. He's the only good creature in the entire farm. Honestly, he's the only good being ever put on God's green earth in this movie. He saves somebody, in doing so breaks his leg, and they fly him off. They fly him off on a drone Uber straight to the glue factory. And not a single tear is shed for him from any animal.
Which, in the book, this character's death is, I mean, it's very close to the end, but it is the most moving. It's gut-wrenching. You're like, no, what do you mean? It's a betrayal, and in this, oh my gosh, he does. He gets Ubered away to the glue factory.
Yep. Sure does. Okay, so the moral of the story in this, that what they did, because people are saying that it's just communism. It's actually not. It's actually not. There's right, it's a little bit deeper on this. So what they did is they made it more difficult to follow. But the moral of the story here is that if you succeed in achieving the socialist communist utopia, in which everybody by their own nature will work hard for one another. That's the baseline. In fact, they actually say it out loud at the end. This is what you all were supposed to know.
Yes.
But the moral of the story is, as soon as leadership arrives, which, by the way, will always happen. They don't explain that to you, but leadership will always happen because hierarchies are built into every biological substrate throughout the entire world. Okay, so down to like mollusks. Okay, so... But as soon as leadership arrives, and you can't let leaders arrive, right? As soon as a leader arrives, they will form an oppressor class, and then what will happen? Your beautiful socialist communist utopia will be tied to evil capitalism, which is just, I mean, it's the empire. It's
because we haven't tried communism correctly.
Right,
we gotta
exactly.
Give it another shot. And we need to do it with friends and family in mind, and sunshine and rainbows. And then we can make it. Communism can work for us, guys. Look at my hat. This is what you can get, nice hats like this under communism.
Yes, go to communism.com. It is a great capitalist website. No. We are giving them away for a small price.
Can we talk about the perhaps irony of, as soon as the animals which go communist then have to start selling their goods, they overdo it and they're extremely successful. There's abundance.
Extremely successful, and it turns into a raucous party system. That's what it's all about. Is about debauchery and all that kind of stuff. The villain is cartoony, even for a cartoon, and there's just nothing. There's nothing redeeming about this movie whatsoever. Wiz, I'll go ahead and put up, because I think it's more interesting to talk about the philosophical and theological undergirdings of why this movie gets it so wrong. But I'll just go ahead and put up my review and so people can see it. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. On criticalist.com, I have given this the lowest score since the channel started, 1.5 out of 10. This is actually lower than Tron Ares, which received a 1.8. That was the previous low. This is worse than Tron Ares. There are worse films. I just want to be clear about this. I would still place movies like Artificial Intelligence, Garbage Pail Kids, Rainbow Bride and the Star Stealer. There are still worse films, but there are no worse films since I've been doing the channel. Okay, so we're almost at 4 years. In 4 years, this is the worst film I have ever been forced to see outside of what Packing Protons pays us to watch. Wiz, where are you at on this thing?
I think I'm lower than that. I think I can I go lower than 0?
Sure.
I think this is the worst movie I've ever seen.
I
think we're in that category.
Come hang out, buddy. We're going to fix that. I've got worse, but it gets into the point where you're actually disturbed when you leave. This one is not only a terrible message, devoid of any reason to watch it, but it's boring. It is so freaking boring.
It is boring.
Oh my gosh.
There's the ending. My jaw dropped with the ending.
Okay, walk us through the ending. It doesn't matter if we spoil it again.
Yeah, okay, so but here's this is my question. So what I'm trying to understand is, because in a back chat, Wiz, you had mentioned that this movie isn't even simply pro-communism and anti-capitalist. You said it's worse than that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for, so I can understand and categorize this.
Okay.
Right. So I'm sticking on like my Wilton hat for a second.
I've read the book.
I have not. I understand the premise and all that kind of stuff. However, is this kind of more like an anarchist's Pinterest board?
No.
Almost, yeah.
No,
I would. It's Reddit. It's very Reddit.
This is like, okay, the problem I have with it is this feels like somebody who has a third grade or second grade level of Animal Farm, communism, capitalism, like these. This is such a juvenile script. It's boring in addition, but it's from somebody who just, man, they don't get it. Man, they don't know their history. And man, there's not a single extra step of thought they've taken on any of this stuff.
So I think we should be clear then, though. So for Steve and for everybody else, Animal Farm is an allegory. It's a story with characters that are supposed to represent historical figures from Soviet Russia. So it opens with this old pig, old Major, who's played by Andy Serkis, who represents Karl Marx, bestowing the ideals of communism to the animals, who then rebel against the humans and create a communist utopia. I'm
just going to save this frame right here. It's not blurred, folks. This is the movie. There is no better screen cap of the movie. This is it. It's this ugly.
It gives Hoodwinked from 2005 a run for its money.
There's an ending. The ending scene. They have a crowd.
Yeah.
They have a crowd in the ending scene, and for no reason, they put the entire crowd in hazmat suits. The reason, by the way, is not for the story. It's because they don't have the budget for a crowd, but they can put a bunch of people in hazmat suits because they don't have to animate the faces at all. That's how bad this movie is.
Yes.
It is awful.
Bro, what were your thoughts of? Okay, well, let me finish.
I didn't even understand the ending. I don't understand why we're doing a concert at a dam. I don't understand any of it.
So it was supposed to be an unveiling, but okay. So the animals, they rebel against the humans. They take over their farm and install communism, and the pigs. They set up a series of rules, and everybody agrees, like, this is the rules. And the pigs kind of become this kind of leadership class, and they start adjusting the rules.
They epitomize you become what you hate.
Exactly. And so by the end of the story, they've killed some of the animals. There's like news warfare. It's the info war, but like for real. And by the end, it's like kind of a horror ending. the pigs, the animals are looking in the window and they can't differentiate between the pigs that look like men. Yeah. They have become the very thing that they were trying to fight. So that's the whole thing and that's communism. This movie rushes through the book in the first 25 minutes. It's a 90-minute movie. And at that point, we trigger the anti-capitalism, where now the animals have become business owners and they're selling their goods. The pigs are still the leader class, taking all the money, spending it on themselves. For some reason, Elon Musk's mom, played by Glenn Close, there's no other way to describe her.
With an Alabama accent that is, no, it's not even Alabama. It's like Foghorn Leghorn. It's like some sort of, well, I say, let's get in bed with the pigs. It's that, but with Glenn Close. It is so weird.
It's weird. And we find out like towards the end, she wants the land that the pigs are on, that the animals are on, to build this dam so that they could build a power plant. So that's the whole thing. So at the end of the movie, the animals have kind of come back together. One of the pigs realizes, hey, we're bad. The piggies are bad, so we got to fight them. And they go and they burst the dam, and all of everyone drowns.
Yep, everybody.
Is the implication, except for the good animals.
And only the good animals, minus the one villain, because we have to have a final drown off.
The implication is that all of the business people, Elon Musk mom, stand-in character, the bad piggies, all of them drown. And all that's left is the good animals. And as Pro said, they sit there and they look up at the moon and they go, everything works. If we just work for our friends and family, we work together. Implying that they're going to do communism again.
Exactly.
This time they're going to do it right.
They're going to do it the right way this time, darn it. No leaders.
Don't turn into cronies.
This is amazing.
I can't believe it.
Which is the antithesis of Animal Farm, the book, whose lesson is that if you try to do socialism or communism, that you can't, because by the nature of everything in the cosmos, hierarchies exist. There are bigger stars and smaller stars. There are bigger ants and smaller ants. You have hierarchies. It's embedded in the very nature of it, and therefore you can't have an everyone is equal utopia. It will never work.
And they even have a moment towards like the where the one hero pig kind of comes back into the fold. They call him
Mr. Pig.
All right, Pumbaa, calm down over there.
They start calling him all the istophobe names to shame him, to bring it back into the fold. They're like, well, you're actually a narcissist, when the character hasn't done anything like that. I don't know how.
So it actually is in that expression. It totally is like representative of the socialist side of things.
So here's the thing: Pro never says don't go see a movie, and I'm not going to do that at this point either. Okay, I don't believe in burning books, and I don't believe in burning films, and I don't believe in telling you to boycott or cancel or whatever. Here's what I will say: if you love your child, and I bet you do. I probably wouldn't take my child to go see this. Not only will they be bored out of their mind, not only can I can't imagine a 5-year-old trying to sit through this. It's ugly. There's nothing fun. It is a joyless slog through death and destruction and killing of horses. It is awful. But on top of all that, I don't want to answer the questions because there's no Happy Meal coming. There's no tie-in with McDonald's. You're not going to Wally World to buy them an action figure. If you go get them a plastic horse, they're going to say, are we going to kill this one and turn it into glue too? So, but you don't want to answer the questions that are coming if your kid sees this movie. You do not want to answer those questions. Mommy, why did the fat pig drown everyone?
So what you're saying, okay, so I have two questions that follow up from this then. So when was this movie actually developed and just kind of like finished? Because if it was in the last like 2 to 3 years, but not this year, because obviously it wasn't finished this year, it was finished before that. This just sounds like typical Hollywood, like this is their fever dream. But then or is it actualized?
Shaming the audience. So Angel Studios put out a promo.
But don't forget, that's Hollywood. What have we been dealing with for the last...
But Angel was different.
If you don't go see the movie, or if you listen to the haters, then you're like the pigs.
All right, let's talk about that, Wiz. There's a huge controversy here. We got to include this in the review. Real quick, Riley Gaines, who is famous for having stood up for women in women's sports, particularly in swimming. Riley Gaines says, my husband and I got an early access screening to Animal Farm, an animated adaptation of George Orwell's novel made by Angel Studios. Incredibly well done. They do a perfect job of reminding viewers that Marxism always has and always will fail. In theaters May 1st. Hashtag Animal Farm Partner. Now, here's what I detest, Wiz, about this. Riley may be a victim in this, and I know you may disagree with me, and I'm going to explain why. If her agent signed a deal with Angel Studios to promote 4 or 5 films, and she's automatically a partner, she may contractually have to put this out. And it may be one of those business deals where she doesn't even have anything to do with it. It's just, and Angel Studios was a safe brand, and they put out, Sound of Freedom, and so it's Angel Studios. We'll promote their stuff. And now you've got these conservatives out there doing this, and I can go through them. There's another one that I would not be so lenient with. Tucker Carlson is promoting Angel Studios. See Animal Farm in theaters May 1st. Tickets available. Okay. There's one guy who is really fighting back, and it's ruffled some feathers. Tim Pool says, Timcast IRL has been asked to run ads promoting Animal Farm. And by the way, I assume we lose any chance on an Angel Studios thing here, but we say no quid pro quos anyway. No. It says promoting Animal Farm next week, which is being distributed by Angel Studios. Angel Studios has done tremendous work in the past, and I have been a fan for some time. However, I am rejecting these ads outright as the film is shockingly offensive, as it is pro-communism and anti-capitalism. The film in its entirety is a critique of capitalism from beginning to end and even has pro-leftist T elements. I understand that this statement may be one of the stupidest things a company in the business of running ads can do, but I am so offended by this film, I decided to publish this statement. I hope Angel Studios corrects this error and gets back to promoting positive films and messaging as they have in the past, but I will not be party to nor defend such an egregious insult to a classic book and an important message. And I think this is going to dramatically improve Tim Pool's standing after very few people see this film. I think it will crash and burn and flop. Riley Gaines, I feel badly for, but there are others. I think some of the conservatives are part of. Hang on, I think there's some people who are part of Conservative Inc., and they will say anything, and they have no scruples, they have no morals, they have no principles, and I think that's been actually destroying the pro-truth with a capital T movement for the past year. So Steve, you go first, then Wiz.
Yeah, so in her post there, if you scroll down, how many comments are related to someone saying, I thought XY cannot become XX?
Well, I think this is why she's probably under contract where she can't say anything. I do feel sorry for her because I know a lot of people have agents. She could break the contract, I know, Wiz, but give me your thoughts. I know you're probably not going to be as forgiving on this, but I feel like a few of these people, they got in over their head. They signed up with Angel Studios, and here they are promoting something that's just awful.
Okay, so I can't state this piece as fact. I'm still doing the research on this myself. But the what's floating around, and the trades have reported this, is that it's a 5-figure payoff. It was a 5-figure payoff.
It's not worth it
to promote this.
Right, so, it's not worth it. It will damage your brand more than 5 figures. By supporting this. It is an atrocious piece of dumpster fire.
Now something that I let's talk about Angel Studios for a second, because the movie is irredeemable. But Angel Studios, right, and where they're standing, and now they're attacking the audience. But let's talk about the whole
always a great idea, by the way. It works every time you do that, Wiz. Attacking the audience is the way to go. Apparently, somebody found a KK thumbnail outside of Lucasfilm and handed it off to Angel Studios.
That found the flash drive.
Flash drive's achieved.
That was it. That's the strategy. Okay, so
From a little bird.
Angel Studios has this thing of and like Steve pointed out, where you can buy tickets, you can pay it forward, you can buy tickets for people, and then they can go see the movie. All right, so here's the deal. The location that I am in right now isn't actually Soviet Russia. I'm in kind of the eastern part of the United States, but I'm not in any major city. And yet all of the theaters around me, I have the screenshots for them. I'm working to put this together. The theaters are sold out, but the theater that I was in had 3 people in it. Myself and my brother were 2 of the 3.
I had 2 people in the theater with me on premiere night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Two other people in the theater.
How full was when you were did you pick tickets? How full was the seat?
Unfortunately, I did not look at that because I purchased at the register, and I just told her, throw me a seat in the middle.
Okay, so this is what, again, this is an ongoing kind of investigation. These people that are paying Angel Studio to buy tickets, Angel Studio system is to just buy the same seats in every showing, because I have it where it's the same seats in every showing that are booked that I cannot buy. And that can only be registered back to Angel Studios. So Angel Studios is taking money from people via some kind of subscription, or you could just give them free money. They are buying tickets in theaters, and no one is seeing the movies. So it's going to appear almost as if, oh, this movie's making money, but that's because they're grifting on their subscribers and buying tickets that no one is filling. So I am currently that's like I said, it was ongoing. I'm currently in the queue, waiting to see what the process is to actually get one of these tickets.
Well, here's my fear, Wiz. Angel Studios leverages churches and organizations of faith to purchase up tickets.
Yes. Yes.
I worry that organizations of faith, I worry that charitable organizations, I worry that churches and synagogues, that they may have purchased in bulk just trying to support Angel Studios, and then Angel Studios use that money to fund or to generate revenue for a film that is absolutely, totally pro-communism, as you said, in a way that's actually beyond being pro-communism, because it says if communism doesn't work, if it results in a hellscape, you didn't do it right, do it over.
That's right. So we are potentially, and this is something, look, like Sound of Freedom. I saw a video from Disbrew talking about this earlier. Pro, did you pick this up, that in the Act 1 when Napoleon is doing his fart scene, because there's a fart sequence?
It's a 12-second fart, by the way.
He does a 12-second fart. Steve, you'd love this.
It's not a funny fart though. It's actually a really strange scene, because it's not played for laughs. It's played to be. It's like Napoleon is trying to subjugate the younger pig by farting for 12 seconds, and you sit there and you go, "What am I in for in this film?" Go ahead, Wiz.
But did you? What was the line after that 12-second fart ended?
I don't remember now. Remind me.
That's the Sound of Freedom.
Oh, so they ripped the Sound of. Yes, you're right. They did say that. Yep.
That's the Sound of Freedom. Oh, you mean Angel Studios placement on the map? Their big movie that put them on the map, The Sound of Freedom, about rescuing children from trafficking.
And I'll guarantee you, Seth Rogen and the guys who wrote this film, they did that as a joke. Let's make a joke about Sound of Freedom and a fart, and we'll put it in Angel Studios film.
That's right. You didn't do it right. I just want to point out, you see the Jim Parsons up there that you had there. So for Steve and everybody watching that don't see this movie, or you won't. The Jim Parsons sheep here, the reason you could see his eyes, because all the sheep have the wool covering their eyes. You get it? The wool's over there. Yep. He gets hit with a weed whacker kind of in the beginning. And at that point, the Jim Parsons sheep is the voice of reason that no one listens to. I don't think it sounded like that. Oh, that's not what he said. Oh, well, I don't really feel good about doing this.
They're changing the slogans.
Right. It is this movie thinks you're stupid. I don't know who it's for. They want to say it's for families. They want to say it's for kids. The movie's not for kids. There's a sequence kind of towards the end, I would say, where it's like a psychedelic trip scene where the pigs shift into humans.
Oh, and it's really weird. Yeah.
It's really weird. And it looks like hoodwinked animation, where it's bad animation. But it's not the charm of 2005. We're in 2026. What are we doing here? So, right. But no, Pro, to your point. But that's the problem. And I think that's what elevates how terrible the messaging is here. Is we talk about Project Hail Mary and how we have the hope core factor going on, and how just something. Mario Galaxy, whether you like the story or not, it was simple. It was fun. We're so desperate for something decent that we're so primed to see all the problems with something like this. We need to get back to positivity. We need to get back to good and bad. We need to get back to positive family dynamics. We need to get back to empowering men to be good men, boys to become good men. So we have to have characters that are good men. We have to get back to having good female characters, not just like, oh yeah, stunning and brave or super powerful, or you know, you look at Daredevil. You got Karen, who has become a killer. She wants to kill people. It's no. We need good role models again in our media. We have to get back to that. And Animal Farm is the worst. It's actually the worst of them. It is the worst of Hollywood. And it was made on a shoestring budget, and it's not going to be good for anyone when it's over.
They're going to turn you into glue next. All right, Wiz, I give it a 1.5. You give it lower than that. You want to just call it a 1 combined? Okay, 7.75 is where that would put it. Steve hasn't seen it, but Steve, a 0.75 I think is enough to say, you know, if you want to sit this one out, there are other things you could do in life. You could have a root canal. You could shove a ice pick under your thumbnail, maybe 2. There are other things in life other than Animal Farm.